a possible new member of the Bloodline, an injury scare at last night's NXT, AEW stars react to their releases, and more. I'm Luke Owen, and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
However, before we get into all of that, let's all enjoy Otis of the Alpha Academy, who only just recently, in fact, in this following video, learned what Io Sky's name is.
I've been seeing Leo this whole time. That's what I mean. Yeah, I go, hey Leo, Sheree.
Leo?
That wasn't it?
No, that is.
Oh, I feel bad now. She responds to it.
You've been calling her Leo. Three.
That Amos laugh really could clear up any dreary day, couldn't it? Also, it should be noted that while this was a pizza and cheesesteak eating competition between Otis and Amos, it was won by Otis's tag team partner, Akira Tozawa. And what was his secret? He was focused on the task at hand and not telling funny anecdotes. Come on, Otis, I am sure that Master Gable taught you better than that. On to more serious matters now, and last night's NXT saw a major injury scare which nearly threw this weekend's Stand and Deliver into disarray. During the show, North American champion Oba Femi took on Joe Gacy, where Gacy was attacked by his planned Stand and Deliver opponent Shawn Spears during his entrance. During the match, Gacy was tossed across the ring by Femi and landed awkwardly on his head. The referee immediately threw up the dreaded X sign and declared Femi the winner via ref stoppage. Trainers then got into the ring to check on Gacy. Announcing Femi as the winner did make some viewers question if this was all an angle to set up Gacy's match with Shawn Spears at the pay-per-view, especially as Gacy challenged Spears to the match later on in the show. However, according to Corey Brennan at Fightful Select, there was concern for a possible concussion. He adds the injury scare was legitimate. Brennan reports that Gacy walked to the back under his own power. However, match graphics and a promo to set up his match with Shawn Spears were briefly put on hold. Brennan reports that following the match being stopped, the following angle that was supposed to take place was pulled, which would have seen Dijak and Josh Briggs have an in-ring confrontation with Femi to set up a North American triple threat match at Stand and Deliver. That was instead moved to a backstage segment later on in the show, which Brennan reports was filmed on short notice. After being checked over, Gacy was also able to film his backstage segment with Ava, where he requested his Stand and Deliver match with Spears. Sticking with NXT for a moment, and Corey Brennan has another report for Fightful Select that says there is another planned NXT Call-Up in the works. Ollie Davis covered on Monday's WrestleTalk News that there's been discussions about bringing Ilya Dragunov to the main roster once he loses his NXT Championship, with the feeling that he's outgrown the NXT brand at this point in his career. And he might not be alone, as Brennan reports via Fightful Select that WWE are very impressed with Roxanne Perez and are looking to call her up, despite her challenging for the NXT Women's Championship this weekend at Stand and Deliver. Perez has featured in both the 2023 and 2024 Royal Rumbles, and Brennan's sources have told him that WWE believe her main roster call-up is only a matter of time, with some sources adding that the sky is the limit for the 22-year-old. But there could be something that keeps her in NXT, which we will have more on in just a moment, as it is time to announce another new competitor for this Friday's 40 years of WrestleMania tournament over on Parts Unknown, where we'll be facing off in a round-robin tournament to crown an eventual winner, and you will be able to pick the stipulations and the arenas that we wrestle in. So far, Ollie and I have entered, and here comes a new challenger.
The wrestling video game extravaganza of the year is rapidly approaching. Just in time for WrestleMania 40, it's 40 years of WrestleMania, the tournament presented by WWE 2K24. Holly Musgrave enters the fold as the third confirmed competitor in this round-robin tournament, joining Luke Owen and Ollie Davis in this epic clash of titans. You have a better than ringside seat to witness wrestling video game history in the making by tuning into Parts of Unknown this Friday, April 5th at 3 p.m. British time. It's 40 years of WrestleMania, the tournament, presented by WWE 2K24.
Make sure you subscribe to Parts of Unknown to know when that tournament goes live, and stick around to see me take down Ollie Davis to prove once and for all that Steiner math is greater than the pipe bomb. And you can show your support for that cause by buying my t-shirt that tells everyone what we already know. Math is greater than pipe bomb. Back to NXT. Despite WWE feeling that Roxanne Perez's main roster call-up is only a matter of time, Corey Brennan of Fightful Select writes, some in NXT would like to see Perez stick around on the brand for the time being, to allow her to continue developing her new heel character. Brennan adds that NXT officials have been blown away by this new character, and there are even some pushing for her to win the NXT Women's Championship at Stand and Deliver this Friday. Brennan also corrects a few fan assumptions based on the heel turn, as some have speculated that Perez has simply filled in for the also heel Cora Jade, who tore her ACL earlier this year on a house show. Brennan writes, this is not completely true, saying that Perez was always planned for a heel turn and that she and Jade were planned at one point to form a tag team prior to the injury. Sticking with NXT for a moment, and a former MLW star is teasing that he could be joining the brand, and he has an interesting family connection. Lance Anoa'i is the son of Samu, who was part of the Head Shrinkers in WWF with Fatu, also known as Rikishi, the father of Solo Sikoa and the Usos. Lance is a cousin of the Usos, Sikoa, Roman Reigns, and The Rock. For an in-depth breakdown of that family tree, check out Ollie Davis's video on that very subject using the link in the video description. Lance Anoa'i is also a former MLW Tag Team Champion and was recently granted his release from the promotion in October of last year. Since then, there has been lots of speculation that he could be signing with WWE, with the man himself even claiming that he was set to be a part of the Tribal Court on SmackDown held in July of last year. He recently tweeted that he only needs one opportunity using the Bloodline We the One symbol in place of the word one, and recently tweeted, "Could I be next?" capitalizing the letters NXT. He's also been retweeting a lot of Roman Reigns videos. Sean Ross Sapp on the Fightful post-show review of Raw noted that there isn't any word on Lance Anoa'i coming in or being part of the WrestleMania Night 2 main event. More likely, this is just Lance trying to get himself noted. And I noticed him. So well done you, sir. One name that many are hoping to see make their return for this year's WrestleMania, however, is Big E, who's been out of action for more than 2 years since breaking his neck on an episode of SmackDown. Big E has continued to do media appearances for WWE over the years, even hosting that pizza competition we talked about earlier, and is confirmed to be part of WrestleMania this year in a hosting capacity. But what about that in-ring return? Well, according to the man himself, the decision is in his hands. He told CBS Sports that he doesn't have an answer on an update for a potential return, but did note, the great thing is, I think they put me in control of that. And I just want to make sure that I'm making the best decision for myself and for my health moving forward. So it's just one of those things I want to be smart about. You should really check out the whole interview. He talks very openly and honestly about the worries of ending up in a wheelchair if something goes wrong, and notes that he's spoken to the likes of Kevin Nash, Steve Austin, and Adam Copeland about the injury, as they've also suffered from neck issues over the years. Over to AEW now, and the company came under fire yesterday. Not just from CM Punk's explosive interview with Ariel Helwani, but also from them releasing wrestlers from their contracts, despite Tony Khan previously going on the record to say he wouldn't do something like that and would keep wrestlers under contracts until they expired. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said the cut and this change in attitude were concerning because it's not something AEW have done in the past, but added it does make sense as they were talents that were not being used. Several of the released talents have now put out statements about their releases, including Anthony Henry, who said he was devastated by the news and even added that he may leave the wrestling industry altogether. He also put out a tweet that highlighted that the Workhorseman t-shirt is currently the 4th best-selling t-shirt on Shop AEW in the past 7 days. Slim J noted on Twitter that he knew his gimmick was, and this is a direct quote, trash, but argued that his work wasn't. He added in a following tweet, "All I wanted to do once I was signed was to get my wife and daughter out of the hole we live in. They're my everything by far. I failed. Does it mean I quit? Not at all. Mouths to feed, and I'm broke ASF, so I'm looking for a second job." Gravity simply thanked Tony Khan for the opportunity, while Jose the Assistant has put out a series of tweets putting over the likes of Andrade and Rush, who also put out tweets praising his work. Andrade, who recently returned to WWE, called him a loyal friend. Jose also revealed the hot gossip from backstage in AEW that sometimes there wasn't enough plastic containers to take home the leftover catering food. AEW in the mud. But as 10 doors close, there could could be two opening up, as PW Insider are reporting that those in TNA believe that Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, better known as the Motor City Machine Guns, are heading to All Elite Wrestling after finishing up with TNA. Finally from us, and we are very excited to announce that we will not only be doing our WrestleMania 40 live reactions here on the WrestleTalk News YouTube channel, we'll also be doing them live from Hooked on Wrestling's WrestleMania party in Shoreditch in London. There are limited tickets available, and they're doing these events all up and down the country, so see if you can get one from a link in the video description down below. And if you are going to the Hooked on event, come and say hello, we will be there. And once you've done clicking that link, please go and check out our latest Parts Fun Known list, where Tempest counts down the best returns and surprises from WrestleMania's past.